Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Australian Indian Radio and Brisbane Indian Times daily live stream from Brisbane, Australia. Well, it's wonderful to have your company here on the 3rd of December. Yes, already 3rd of December, this month is just getting away from us so quickly. And today we have lots of update for you. There's some community events that we are going to be talking about. And of course, today we get the travel update with Tanvi. All of that and much, much more in the segment today. But before we get into that part, let's welcome Dilraj with the weather news for today.
Good morning, everyone. Weather forecast for the rest of today is maximum 29 degree. Brisbane area is partly cloudy. There were medium showers in the morning. Winds easterly 15 to 25 km per hour, becoming northeasterly 15 to 25 km per hour in the evening. Fire danger is low to moderate. Sun protection is recommended till 50 past 3 and UV index is predicted to reach 12, that is extreme. Till tomorrow, stay safe and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you very much, Dilraj, for that. Well, right now, let's go into the headlines for today before we go into all the rest of the news. So, hi, wonderful to get your company once again. Please do share the link and please do pass on with other contexts that you might have for the news today. Thank you very much. Right now, the headlines with the courtesy of ABC.
On the way after the UK became the first country in the world to approve a coronavirus vaccine for nationwide use. The first jabs of the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine will be given within days. Aged care residents and frontline staff are at the top of the list. The UK has ordered 40 million doses, with the first 800,000 arriving almost immediately. The Australian government says its timeline for vaccine distribution early next year remains unchanged. A helicopter has crashed in the New South Wales Southern Highlands, killing 2 people. The aircraft was reported missing last night east of Marulan, and a search in rugged bushland near Toolong found 2 bodies alongside the wreckage. They're yet to be formally identified. An Adelaide fugitive who was on the run for more than 30 hours has been recaptured in a dramatic police chase. Jason Burden escaped from an Adelaide remand centre on Tuesday by climbing down a rope made of clothes. He was spotted overnight in a stolen car and led police on a helicopter chase, during which he allegedly rammed a police car. Residents and staff at Fraser Island's largest resort and the neighbouring village remain on high alert, with authorities warning the bushfire situation could deteriorate rapidly. The fire has been burning for 7 weeks across more than 80,000 hectares. The Queensland Government has ordered a full review of the preparations and response to the blaze.
So there we are, the news headlines for today. And as we know that fire on the island, it is very, very bad. And of course, these are the things that we need to be so careful about. We've all been told so many times, but even then, these kind of things happen, which is just not very good. When we look at all the things that people complain about, all the progress that's been made, but many times the people forget that one little act like that, causes more damage than, all of these things put together. So anyway, it is not very good what's happening out there. All right, now, the update, because this morning we were at the Lord Mayor's Multicultural Roundtable and getting all the updates from different communities, and it's very good to see that all the communities are doing very well in terms of getting back online. Of course, we had the Italian Chamber of Commerce and their annual dinner. Then we had the Malaysian get-together at the Parliament House, and of course the networking event by the Indonesian IIBC last night, and many more functions that are taking place. And of course the Latin Sebastian Taro is going to get together for the Latin community that's coming together on that. And with the Indian community, of course, we know Gopio's business networking function in Gold Coast. So right now, let's go to our key interview for today, and it's an update. Remember, we always bring to you these updates on what is very topical right at this point in time, because everyone is planning their moves, meaning they want to, go somewhere, get on a flight, and so they want to know what's available, what can be done, and what can't be done. Let's take a look at that interview.
Anji.
So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome to this very special segment where we talk about all the things that we can do and we can't do about travel. And of course, it has been brought to you by the KTC of Oz India Travel. And once again, Tanvi, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Umeshi. Thank you, everyone. It's really exciting to meet you all every single week from last almost 2 months. That's amazing. And thank you for listening to us on Australian Radio and on Oz India Travel page as well. It's really amazing to see a lot of updates, lots of questions are coming up. So we're gonna take a lot of questions today as well in today's update. So before we proceed, I would like to mention that these advices are as per the current updates received. For all the up-to-date information, please check government websites as rules and regulations may change anytime.
Yes, of course, the rules and regulations keep changing all the time. And thank you for, informing and keeping all the listeners and viewers up to date with that. So, Tanvi, what is the main update for this week? Of course, we know the big news is the borders have opened and people have started coming in. So that's exciting. So what are the updates?
Okay, so before we go update everyone, I would like to mention here once again. So we do not operate any charters ourselves. We have partnered with all the charter companies in Australia, all the repatriation flights and airlines for all the flights. So we can basically offer you anything available in market, but we don't offer anything ourselves charter-wise. Now coming to the update, I have got quite a few amazing updates for you this time. I've been reading a lot of subscriptions throughout the week, and I must say thank you to Umesh, Australian Indian Radio, and you all. Because of you all, I update a bit more to myself and always love sharing with you all. So I read a really very amazing report this week, which I'm really glad to share with you all. That's a Travel Reimagined report. They found in their report that around 88% of Australians are planning to take a domestic trip in 2021, which is generally not that much case because people have a lot more options. But this time, it's really exciting to see. And I'll share some more spots and things which they mentioned, which is great. And I'm really proud to say Gold Coast is on the top, which is amazing, closer to us. So currently, Australian destinations with the highest volume of booking for 2021 already, let me tell you, the first one is Gold Coast, then Perth, Sydney, Port Stephens, and Canberra. These are the top-rated ones where most of you are already loving it, and you still have options. Those who haven't booked, you are good to go. And the report also states that majority of people are going for 3.2 night stay per package, at least 3 to 4 days. And the average spend per family is around $6,000. So those who think that, how much you should spend, I even get a lot of calls from so many people asking that what's happening these days, how much we should think of spending. So this is what the answer, the question we received last week. So this is what the answer for you. Next is about the travelers. Listed the top destination they want to go when the restriction is internationally. So on that one, the top list is New Zealand. So as we all know, we always love to know and want to visit our sister country next door, that's New Zealand. And then we got a lot of people, even as per this report, a lot of people express their interest for Japan, for Italy, Fiji, and UK, and of course India. So these are the top lists which Aussies have expressed interest they want to go for, which is amazing. Now I want to tell you something about the new update for the Delta Airlines. So the neo-quarantine free travel trial is expected to get the green light from the Italian government, which to see the Delta Lines might establish a green lane between the Aeroporti di Roma. So that airport to Hartsfield, Jackson, Atlanta International Airport. So there are so many people ask about the Italy, as we mentioned that many people want to go to Italy. So yes, they are planning to have some more flights and more establishment in Italy. So Delta Airlines is really quite ready for it. And definitely you need the RT-PCR report for that 72 hours before. Another thing is very exciting for New Zealand. So there's a group of industry bodies in Australia and New Zealand. They are planning to have some meeting before Christmas. So I think before Christmas in next few weeks time between 21st to 25th, we might heard a good news, maybe that we would be able to go to New Zealand. So they are planning to establish that travel bubble, which we all have been talking for a few months already and quite excited. So yeah, 21st December is the date. I would say it's a very lucky for us all, where we can expect something for New Zealand as well. Next was the cruise guide. So I'm really happy to tell you that still the cruise are doing so well. There are most of cruise companies coming up with so many amazing trips which you can take, and the bookings are going heavy as well for already 21, 22, 23. Now the next one which I saw is the Britannica World Discoveries. They have launched a new 8-night cruise that's called Queen Elizabeth, sailing in Aussie private gardens. So in your own backyard in Sydney, Hobart, Burnie, Melbourne, and Edith. So that means just not outside, in our own backyard. We have a lot more options, guys. Even those who were planning for Japan, we just spoke once the restriction is. MSC Cruises are also planned to report some cruise operations. They already got the safety certification from Asian countries. So that's something really exciting for all our cruise lovers and the listeners who are who are listening to us. Now, another thing I want to give you an update about Hervey Bay. So Umesh, probably you remember as well, a few weeks ago, we spoke to everyone about the Fraser Island, about the Hervey Bay. It's really amazing place from Brisbane, around just 3-4 hours drive, which people can go. And I think some of you already booked. Now, guys, there is an update, which is not really quite a good update, but still, we need to inform you that recently they had, a bit of fire there. So 40% of island in the last 6 weeks had burned, and seems they are closing island up till 13th of December. So seems still, as per the information received, maybe they should be okay by Christmas or New Year's, sorry. But if you have made any bookings, please make sure and check with the resort or nearby areas that your trip is not affected. Because we understand, you're going with all excitement, and all of a sudden there should not be that kind of surprise to you. So far seems they have already closed up till 13th of December, just for next 10-12 days. But seems it should be okay after that. But just please keep checking yourself that everything is going good. Another thing, guys, there are so many questions came up for insurance, travel insurance, because these days things are so uncertain, and not many travel insurance companies are covering it. So I'm really so excited to tell you all that there are some insurance companies came on board, and they started talking about it. They are going ahead. Even some companies are going ahead to launch some new policies, including the coverage of COVID-19 related conditions. How amazing is that? Yeah. That means we will have, some peace of mind when we fly. So with state borders beginning to open and international travel bubbles on the horizon for 2021, now is a great time for us as well to ensure that our clients are in the best, possible protection. So these new COVID ready benefits are believed to include the overseas medical expenses if clients are diagnosed with COVID-19. I hope you don't, but just for being safer side, along with the additional expenses coverage if you're required to do any quarantine immediately after being diagnosed. And there's so many other policies which they are discussing, and I'm sure it will be all in benefit of all of us. So I would say, guys, this is really amazing news for us that, we can have a travel insurance, and there are things are coming back to normal. I would say new normal, but yeah, these all are really exciting news, which I am really pleased to share with you all. Mehdi.
Wow, that is wonderful and amazing. You are a wealth of information there. Right. Of course, that Cover More is quite a good, I have used them before. So now talking about Brisbane, so what flight options do we have from Brisbane now?
Okay, Meiji, the same which we discussed last time, and they are doing so well. I got call from so many people, still these flights are going. Yes, they are going, guys. They are doing so well. So on 20th December, we have flight, Scoot Airlines, they are going Brisbane to Delhi straight flight, 14 hours flight, fare around $12.95. We are connecting it to throughout India. In fact, those who are planning to come from different cities in Australia, you're welcome as well because borders are open now, so it's all good. The second one is Singapore Airlines, the 1st of January flight. So that's for the Singapore Airlines lovers. The price is fare is minimum as well, that $15.95. And once again, we are connecting it to all around the country in India. And you are getting 40 close luggage, which is amazing. So luggage wise is also very good. There's quite a few other options as well, guys. If you want to have direct and easy and peaceful options, these are the ones. We have Emirates also going from Brisbane, as discussed before. They are going with the longer haul today, but yeah, we can organize a hotel for you. That's not a problem. 3 people can share in the room. And if you don't want to take the long hauls and happy to go via other cities in Melbourne or Sydney, then we have quite a few flights as well, which we can connect in Australia and India as well. So which we'll discuss to you in Sydney and Melbourne segment as well. Amazing.
That's a wonderful news that we've got so many connections and things happening right here from Brisbane. Amazing. Well, about Sydney, because, I've had some local flights have been coming. So what options do we have from Sydney?
So Macy from Sydney, the 3rd December is already gone. So that's today. Then we have 10th of December and 17th of December. These are the ones going Sydney to Delhi. Then we have one Sydney to Bangalore flight that's on 15th of January. So these are only 3 charters so far. And why the charters are less? Because we have a Vande Bharat mission flights also there, guys. So if you have to go to in emergency, then we have flights every 2-3 weeks, 2-3 days, from Sydney to Delhi, from now up till 28th of December. And the fare of Air India is around $17.98. But if you want to have a cheaper option, want to go in charters, then the fare is around $12.99. Amazing.
Last but not least, what about Lucky Melbourne? What's happening with Lucky Melbourne? What are their options?
Okay, so Melbourne again have a lot of options, pretty much a couple of flights every week, and we are expecting some more flights to come in January. So the next available, we still have few seats left. Luckily, that 7th of December, that 8th December, 12th December, 18th December, 28th December, and then on 12th of January, we have Melbourne to Bangalore for our all South amazing clients. So yeah, there are quite a few options, and we're expecting some more from Melbourne as well.
Wow, that's amazing. And any update from India to Australia, the trip that we've always been talking about, many people wishing to come back?
So from India to Australia, situation is getting better every time, Macy, I must say that. So it's still all flights from India are currently offered to passengers registered with DFAT. If you have not registered with them, guys, please do so, because that is very, very important. I was told by somebody that some people who have registered before September are being called recently, last couple of weeks, and they ask people to update their registration as well, because some people have already traveled, it's not registered there. So please visit the website. I'm gonna tell you here as well. That is covid19.dfat.gov.au. So this is the website for you. Please share with everyone who are stuck in India right now, because you must register with DFAT. Otherwise, chances of coming back is really less, or you won't be get updated. When the Air India flight comes, definitely you can book. Whenever charter comes, you can book. But to get yourself updated every day, what's happening, is the best to register yourself with DFAT on this particular website. And please keep checking on the Australians Stuck in India Facebook page as well. That page is really, that Facebook group actually is a very great source of information which you might get every day, that those passengers who have already landed in Australia in last few days or few weeks, they are sharing their reviews, and you have so many amazing admins there who are sharing their day-to-day updates, whatever they're getting from ministry, from DFAT, from other sources. So please, those, I know there are some of you who don't do Facebook. I don't say to spend 10 hours or 12 hours on Facebook. No, not that. But definitely, please keep checking, the Australian Stuck in India page. That's definitely recommended. So far, I heard there's a Qantas flight coming on 5th December and 19th December to Darwin. And then I heard there are some flights coming, Air India flights coming up till 20th December. So same the flight who are going from Australia also coming back. But once again, we have no option to book from India to Australia. You just have to register yourself with DFAT and keep checking on Air India website. If you're lucky, you might get a flight. And I hope the charter comes soon as well. Amazing.
Air India website, sounds like Australian Indian radio. So anyway, that is amazing. You have got some wonderful information there, and it is so true that people really need to check. So now people have started traveling, and of course it's coming to that time where it will get busier. So what's your advice to all the people traveling at the time? So any traveling tips, for people at this point in time?
Umesh, every day I'm receiving so many calls. People are so desperate to come from India to Australia. I totally understand it. It should be because they have family here. Christmas and New Year is around the corner. So I know they are so desperate. But at the same time, I want to warn or inform you guys, those who are planning different channels, trying to come from different countries, please be very, very careful, guys. I recently heard people just took any agent randomly and booking themselves randomly on any website, and they lost thousands of dollars. So guys, this is definitely a big piece of advice for you, because there are so many scams also going on. I've been heard from some passengers that, they got some scam call. People say they are from DFAT, they are from this particular place. They are giving 100% guarantee that they will give you a flight to Australia, but no. You have to check the authenticity of that person, that organization. Ask them to send you an email. Check with that organization whether this is really the right one before you give any personal information, and especially the credit card. Because I heard some passengers, who were, they got the wrong transactions in their credit card. So I would say highly big no to give your credit card to anyone when you are planning to come from India to Australia, or unless 100% this person is right. So guys, we are basically not recommending anyone coming from different countries, because we have no information about that, whether you are allowed to come through that country or not. So we recommend to come directly, whatever information DFAT gives to you, they are definitely authentic and real. So go through that part. But if in case you decide to take risk, please be very careful, because at the end, it can be really a lot of hassle. So for example, I heard a passenger who said, he booked randomly to the Singapore, went to Singapore, and he was sent back. So there were a lot of more implications, and it was a lot of drama and a lot of stress he had. So please don't do that, and be very careful what you're doing. Other thing, guys, I have seen is about the domestic flight. So those who are booking any of the domestic flight along with the charter. For example, if you're going from Brisbane to Melbourne, Melbourne to Delhi, and Delhi to Amritsar, please remember, the check-in always goes flight-wise. Okay, so if you're taking flight Brisbane to Melbourne, that means you have to check in on that sector, because that's a domestic Australian flight. Then if you go Melbourne to Delhi, for example, 7th of December, you have to check in at Melbourne. And then if your next connection is Delhi to Amritsar, you have to recheck in again. So even someone tells you or false giving information, please be really informed about that you have to recheck in twice. So main charter, when main charter suppose goes with Singapore Airlines, then you don't have to check in again at Singapore or recheck in your baggage. But whenever you have a domestic connection involved along apart from your charter, you always have to recheck in your baggage. Okay. Another thing is about the wheelchair, how wheelchair works, guys. Because I've seen some passengers called me that they were very confused how this thing works and got angry with the porters as well. So let me tell you guys how it works. So wheelchair, guys, works. I have been informed before, but let me just repeat. So wheelchair works aircraft till outside gate of the same terminal. For example, I'll give you the same example of Brisbane, Melbourne, Delhi, Amritsar. So your main charter is Melbourne to Delhi, okay? And if we have booked you wheelchair for Brisbane to Melbourne sector, that will be separate, because in Melbourne they have a same terminal. But it's not 100% that the same person will take you to check in the next counter in Melbourne International flight. Then the next is then when you check in at Melbourne for your wheelchair, the wheelchair person in Delhi gonna take you from the aircraft till outside, right? They won't take you to recheck in for your Amritsar flight or your any domestic flight, because that's how the system works. Now here there is one thing that you can request or hire a porter at Delhi who can give you the extra services to recheck in at the for your next flight. But it's not, they are really not something they have to give you. This is the additional services, because sometimes parents or someone get really frustrated that they're not listening and they are not well informed that they have to recheck in twice or they have to take the extra services for recheck in. So please inform your parents as well whenever they are taking this, because some people I heard were very rude to the poor porters, and they said no, you have to do it, but it's not like that. So if we inform, it is our duty, guys. Whenever we are sending our parents, we inform them and give them a proper information, because at the end of the day, I must say that everyone is doing their best. So the airport staff, all the essential workers, we need to appreciate the work they are doing. Because if we get cranky on them or be angry with them, their moral is going to go down. So it's our moral responsibility that we be informed ourselves, inform our parents and everyone there, so that, the whole system goes in a proper way. And, these guys are risking their life for us, guys. So we must appreciate them throughout the way. So this is something which I heard quite a lot in last few weeks. And I thought it's really very, very important for us to make sure that our parents are informed. And last but not least, I would like to tell you all, please don't forget to register yourself with DFET. If you're stuck in India or your family is stuck in India, I know there are so many of people, even I receive call every day, that who are not registered, and they feel that they will get information out of blue from somewhere, from friend or Facebook or somewhere. So if you get, guys, that information, that's great, but still it's good to register yourself as well. And please keep checking your phones and your emails regularly, because DFET always calls you on your registered mobile number and registered email address. They sometimes call you, I heard some people said 1 time, some said 2 times. So this is the only source for you to book and come back home. So please make sure that your phone is charged when you're in India, whatever number you have given, because that's the main thing. So that's about it. The main tips I would say, Umeshi, which I feel are very, very important. So be careful, guys, and don't forget, we're always there to help you whenever you need any help. We don't charge anything extra for any of these advices. Even you booked with us or you booked with somewhere else, like we mentioned before, we're always happy to give you advice and even send you all the forms needs to be done. You can check those on our page as well. I have created a proper videos where you can see how to take the COVID test, how to fill those forms. In fact, go through our past series with Australian Indian Radio. Mm-hmm. Every Thursday morning, we got that show at 10 o'clock from last 7-8 weeks. And every week we have shared those information, what all you need to do. And especially first 3 episodes, we have emphasized a lot about the COVID test and the forms you need to fill. Every single thing is there. So don't get confused. Just go through those series. And if you still have question, you can post on this particular video, or you can mention to Umesh ji or ourselves on our page or on India Travel, and we are there to help you, Umesh ji.
Yes, definitely there to help. And of course, as Tanvi has said, whether or not you have booked your flights through her, it doesn't matter. She's still out there to provide advice. And of course, as the disclaimer said in the very beginning, that the advice that's given is advice, and everyone's individual cases might be different, and that Oz India Travels do not operate the charter flights themselves. They book the charter flights, and if you want to go on one, they can definitely get you on one. So wonderful. Once again, Tanvi, thank you so much for all this wonderful information. Gee, you are a wealth of knowledge there with all the information, and it is wonderful to see that, the way you've described everything there as well.
Yeah. So guys, you can call us on 040-440-3264. That's our hotline number. We got a Melbourne number, Sydney and Brisbane one as well. So Brisbane one is 0738115084. You can see on the screen and on our pages as well. So feel free to contact us and feel free to write us whatever questions you have, and we'll make sure we cover that for the next episode. And yeah, keep following us and checking all the updates, and we are always happy to help you in every way possible.
Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day and stay safe.
Thank you. Stay safe, guys. Jai Hind. Thank
Jai
you.
Hind. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that weekly update from Tanvi from Oz India Travel. Right now, time for our sponsor's message.
GlobeNet Realty. GlobeNet Realty has been the longest established, trusted and respected agency in its trade area. Washa Chandra, Director of GlobeNet Realty, provides honest and ethical service to her customers. If you are thinking of investing in Brisbane real estate market, or if you are seeking professional property management, then you should contact Usha Chandra today on landline 3865 4466 or mobile 0419 775 416. And for further updates, log on to our website www.globenetralty.com.au. GlobeNet Realty is your own local real estate agency. Situated at Shop 52281 Sandgate Road, Boondall. GlobeNet Realty. Real estate is our world.
And real estate is the world. As we know, it's wonderful to see all the report that was presented yesterday, and it's wonderful, but not forgetting that today's whole segment has been brought to you by the courtesy of Gaura Travel. So today's live stream is proudly sponsored by Gaura Travels. Right now, time to go to some of the news in brief as well. Let's take a look at what's happening in and around Brisbane and, well, all around the world as well, and see, what are the main functions and events taking place. My apologies there for a bit of a technical glitch there, but right now let's get into the news in brief. Number one, the ABC analyst Casey Briggs brings to you the COVID-19 report.
Separate to the overall trends in the economy and the growth in GDP, it's always interesting to look at how individual sectors are doing in the economy and how that spending data that accompanies the national accounts shows that some sectors are really back on the path to recovery. The health services sector seeing spending, basically rebounding back toward normal levels in the September quarter after crashing for just the one quarter. What we're looking at here is the actual spend in dollars, in millions of dollars of Australians in each of these sectors, and doing that means we remove some of the sometimes misleading figures when we think about percentage growth or percentage contraction. So health, while that's rebounded, what we're seeing on hospitality, say, which is pubs, cafes, restaurants, is a big rebound, but still well below spending of a usual level, 11.3. That's actually 11.
So when you look at that graph, that would probably be indicative of many events and functions, and of course many companies and organizations as well. They were all going up, then that steep fall, and then the rebounds. But again, that rebound has not reached the normal level of, before it took those nosedive. But our treasurer says that Australia comes out of recession.
Good afternoon.
Good news has that unmistakable look.
The Australian economy is coming back. The trend is our friend here.
Bouncing back into growth after 2 consecutive quarters of going backwards.
Technically, the recession is over, but the recovery is not.
The national accounts dramatically illustrating the ruin that comes from a once-in-a-generation pandemic.
As you can see, it's a story of the restrictions being eased.
Down 0.3% in the March quarter, then a whopping 7% in the June quarter. The economy surged 3.3% in the September quarter, the biggest 3-month GDP increase since 1976. Year on year, the economy shrunk 3.
And if you look at those graphs, as I mentioned before, that's indicative of, again, the similar graph as to what was in the first shot. And right now, good news is that Britain becomes the first country to approve the vaccine, the much-awaited vaccine, but I've been told it will be made in Belgium.
Fantastic news. The MHRA, the fiercely independent regulator, has clinically authorised the vaccine for rollout. The NHS stands ready to make that happen. So from early next week, we will start the programme of vaccinating people against COVID-19 here in this country. There'll be a combination of 3 modes of delivery. The first is hospitals themselves, which of course have got facilities like this, and 50 hospitals across the country are already set up and waiting to receive the vaccine, as soon as it's approved, so that can now happen. And then there'll also be vaccination centres, which will be, as you say, big centres where people can go to get vaccinated. And they're being set up now. And then there'll also be a community rollout, including GPs and pharmacists. The Joint Committee on Vaccinations and Immunisation is the clinical committee that advises the government on the priority and who gets the vaccine in what order. They will be setting out details of that prioritisation later this morning, along with the MHRA, who will set out the clinical details behind this vaccine and why they've taken the decision to authorise it. So that will happen mid-morning, so that people can see all of the details, and also that prioritisation, which is set out according to clinical need.
And the big question, of course, there would be, who gets it when? As we know, there has been a long wait for it, and of course it will become a bit chaotic to get it out to all the people. Well, right now, Jackie Lambie calls for Chief of Defence to resign over the report on Afghanistan.
Nobody has been found guilty yet. And I can tell you now that under the regulations, the Defence Minister has first go at this. She could have stopped this straight away. I have those guys over there. You're looking at 3,000, around 3,000 have seen this citation, and I can tell you the amount of tours that many of those men have done over the years and the mental anguish they were already going through, and to actually remove this citation from them without and mentioning this, I think they're way ahead of themselves. You cannot hold about 3,000 men responsible for six or eight men that are apparently accused, have not been found guilty, and start taking action on this. This is not how law works in this country. The CDF has a lot to answer for, and the first thing he can come out and do, don't you dare say you did not know what was going on in that unit, mate. Don't you dare, you and the brass, say you didn't know what was going on. That's rubbish, and you know it is. And if you didn't know what was going on, Angus, then I have to ask you why. Because I can tell you it is absolutely disgusting the way this has been handled. And it's coming back to bite, Angus. And the best thing you could actually do is get up and leave and retire immediately. And I'm not the only one saying that, because if you think you've got any respect left, Campbell, I can tell you now, from being a digger and the diggers I know out there now, there's nothing left, mate. There is no respect for you.
So you're saying you're claiming that he's lost support in the Defence Force?
He's absolutely lost. For those of who have served, absolutely ashamed of the way he's handled this, the way he's treating those SAS over there, and the way this investigation has gone down. I'll tell you what, this is only the beginning. I'm certainly not going away. You're going to see a lot more standing up in the months to come.
There you go. Jackie Lambie is not going away, and she says you'll get to see more of her, and she's asking for the Chief of Defence to resign over the report or the handling of the whole matter as such. Well, right now it's time to take a look at some of the functions and events happening in and around Brisbane. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, it's been wonderful having your company, and it's been great to get all this news all around, and of course the news of the vaccine being made available and for distribution will be another matter. But of course we know that it needs to be kept at that insane low degrees, and so that would become a little bit of a challenge, while I think everyone's working on finding other vaccines which might not need to be frozen at that sort of temperatures. But once again, it's been wonderful having your company, and of course thanks especially to the Tanvi for all the update on travel of what we can and what we can't do. And of course today's segment has been proudly sponsored by Gaura Travels, and you can get onto their website www.gauratravel.com.au, 24/7 website, and it's a very interactive website where you can go in and of course book flights and get all the information that you might want to need. Well, right now it's goodbye from me until tomorrow. Have a wonderful day, whatever's left of it, but most importantly, please do remain safe.